health and wellness, education, preparedness, and governance. So if you want to ask us for details on that, we're putting that out in the newsletter a little bit by bit, working on that, but really looking forward to really making some traction, making some things happen. So give some updates on that. So
yeah, watch for more info.
Yeah, so if you're new here, please make sure you introduce yourselves, and as always, you know, water and some cookies over here, some druthers, washrooms are in the back, but you have to go to the second door to get in and out. There is a sign-up sheet to add to our email if you're not on there. Toonie jar, really appreciate any contributions to help cover the costs here. And we made some t-shirts. Are the t-shirts they out there?
Oh, well, we're...
They're very sexy, you
What
can
does
tell.
it say? I'm a member of the fringe minority. So this is just one. We
We're
just
just
did a
gonna
sample from the supplier. So we got a few as samples. We're gonna get more. We're gonna get more hats and mugs and all that kind of thing. Where you can order them
And car
directly.
stickers, we need car stickers.
Yeah.
Perfect, yeah.
But we do have some left over.
Some there.
There's some mediums, larges, extra larges, and they're
They're $30.
$30.
You want one?
which
So,
is-
yeah, they're very sexy. I've been propositioned 3 times. They were all men, but you know, yeah, we're hoping we're going to put some swag on the website soon too. So we have some other ideas, maybe a 50-50 draw, barbecue, etc. So.
Concert, yeah.
So yeah, we're hoping to do some social stuff too this summer. Not social media, but in-person social events. And so
And some of the ones, yeah, that are already happening in Muskoka. So we're just going to put out in the newsletter where we're going. So a bunch of us will go. Like for example, this weekend there is the Hoot. I don't know if anyone is in the Sprucedale area.
Near where we live, yeah.
Yeah.
we're gonna go there
So
tomorrow.
this is, we've never been before, but we hear it's great. There's like, how many bands? Like
Last I knew there were at least 7. So
Yeah, so 7 bands, you know, kind
And
of.
food.
Food, activities.
Food, vendors, you know, sort of bring your lawn chairs and, you know, go for the day. It's supposed to be a nice day, so.
There's
we're
lots
gonna
of signs
do
you get with it.
Good. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna do that tomorrow.
That's right, my neighbors.
That kind of thing. We'll take advantage of existing events as well as create our own. And our next event is on June 24th, which is a Monday. I think it is. With Brett Haas. It's going to be here, and also we'll have a second speaker. Another surprise.
Health oriented. Yeah.
Health oriented. So that's on the 24th. That's in the newsletter. It's also on our website.
Will that be here?
Yes. Yeah, this room's already booked for that. July 14th. Yes, there is.
Sunday.
It's a Sunday with an event. It looks like it's going to be here. It's we're helping organize.
We're collaborating, but it was initiated by another group and they asked us to help. So we're helping. But it's going to be here. It's going to be very hands-on workshops. So it'll be 4 workshops, and there'll be then there'll be a break, and then there'll be speakers.
Yeah.
And I believe, can we say who's at least some of the speakers are? Dr.
Byron Bridle, one of the speakers.
Yeah.
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 So they're doing that kind of sure. They're doing an event in North Bay on Saturday, but you're here in the sun. So we a lot of things don't work out yet, but it looks like the 14th of July here from about 1 p.m. until 6 or 7, I guess. With hands-on workshops too. So, okay. Anything else?
Nope.
Okay. So we'll bring our first speaker, Tish Conlin. She's an engaging public speaker. If you haven't seen her before, it's her second appearance here. I think just second here. We've seen her a couple times. Really vibrant speaker and passionate about health and human potential. She's a registered holistic nutritionist, a Reiki practitioner. I'm reading this off too. Certified emotional social
list of credentials.
intelligence trainer. I can't remember him. And black belt martial artist.
The main one, yeah.
Amazing. Also don't around with Tish.
Amazing podcast on
Tish Talks.
Yes.
Tish Talk.
Tish Talks.
Amazing, yes.
Yes.
Don't forget that.
So please help join us in welcoming Tish Conlin.
Call me when my time is.
I'm doing a quick talk. I wanted to say before we get started that Donald Lee has a phenomenal book. I've interviewed him on my podcast, and he really gets what's going on. So he's come all the way out from Western Canada. So let's grab that book. It's amazing. So I just wanted to cover a bit of an update. Some of you know me, I've run politically twice. Recently I ran in a Durham by-election for People's Party. And why does a holistic coach, successful business person just give all that up? Because we have to. This is what we're called to do. And a lot of us here know all the parties are captured. And we need to forge new beginnings. But I wanted to say it didn't matter that I lost, because we had a phenomenal impact on people. We had events where there was just hundreds and hundreds of people. We had Dr. Paul Alexander come out, and I think we woke up an entire town of Tyrone, the whole town, like thousands of people left like this with the medical tyranny. So this is job. It's the win is waking people up so we can step into responsibility. So tonight I'm just going to do a little tidbit. One of the things I'm passionate about, my life mission was always to help people live healthier and happier lives. And so COVID came around and it went against my life mission, and I just gave up everything. I've done those talks before, and I'm as strong and as determined as ever. And I want to hearten everyone today who's feeling the overwhelm, because you can feel it. This is an anti-life agenda, and it's anti-humanity. And so what is the antidote? It's step fully into your humanity. Is there can I move? I need to move.
Yeah,
You can take that, yeah, you can move that.
Thank goodness. Yeah, that's way better for me. I'm I can't sit still. So first of all, we need to support each other. So what I'm going to talk about is, last year I was here to talk about my book, The Thrive Protocol. It's as important as ever, the pillars of thriving. So tenacity, healthy habits, responsibility, imagination, vision, and our emotions. I did a workshop with one of the groups closer to me recently on what we're all feeling, this emotional charge, and how to handle all these heavy emotions, because they're real. And you can't stuff them down, because it comes out in wrong ways, angers, hurts, all these other things. So what I'm going to send to Christy and Perry is my Ascension Guide. First of all, I want to just have everyone stand up, and let's just do a little stretch. Come on, let's just, every day, one of the things I do is I do calisthenics. Let's want to upgrade our habits, don't get caught up in social media when you start, Let's get up and take charge of our life. Don't let the social media dictate, right? Stretch, a little bit of we gotta change it up. So you are your habits. And this is really, really important, is upgrade your habits. I start now and I wake up, I have tuning forks, and I do them every day. I do my Schumann resonance. Most days, some days I get caught up in social media, but then I go, bad day, get back to it, right? So what I want to get tonight is how we can get ourselves in a better groove. Many people I talk to are burnt out, stressed out, they're giving up, they're getting sick. And I did a podcast. Please subscribe to my podcast. That's all you need. Push a button, it's free. It just helps to elevate me. That's one great kindness you could do. because I go around and I really try to help as many people as possible. So that helps me a little bit, just for recognition, because I do plan to run and win. And that's, I do plan to be a political leader in the future federally. But when I did a podcast with a gentleman from the States, Peter Merrick, he's very successful, and we talked about what's happening is first people start off, they're blue-pilled, right? And it's like the normies, they don't realize they're being enslaved by the government. So they're totally oblivious, having a happy time. We're like, hey, you're kind of jealous. Like, they just went through COVID, 10 shots in, they've been traveling the world, their business is doing great, they're talking about the renovation, you're like, I don't get it, right? But then we're getting more and more people getting the slap in the face, and they're waking up and they're getting red-pilled, and they're realizing the government is enslaving us. They start going down the rabbit hills, and rabbit holes and looking into this and this. But what's happening, a lot of people were a few years in now, they become black-pilled, right? They are like, oh my God, it's worse than I thought. The adrenochrome, the harvesting, the May, oh my God, Canada's so bad. Like now what's happening with Picton Farm, I mean, it's gross, What are they putting in our food? People are becoming black-pilled, right? And they're stopping there, they're like, I can't take it anymore, I'm stressed out, like, I need a drink. And I'm noticing more, give me the joint, I need a drink, it's like, can't take it. And they're stopping there, right? We're called now to be white-pilled, okay? When you get to the black pill, what's happening is you're unconsciously enslaving yourself. This is like we're unconscious, the government was enslaving us, then you're conscious, the government's enslaving us. By the time you get to black pill, you're doing it to yourself. We've got to get to the point where we realize the whole thing is our fault. We're responsible for our life and our future. When you're white-pilled, you go, all of that's been happening for all these years, maybe decades, hundreds of years, millennials. It's awful, it's sad, we have to feel it, we want to do our best. But we have to take responsibility for every thought, every emotion, every action in our life. And when you're white-pilled, you can truly start to live a joyful life no matter what's going on. Because you have your circle of influence. You start with your own self. You wake up, go, am I going to just dive into social media and scroll until I feel like gross? Or am I going to do something good for myself? Go outside, do a walk in the park, do a meditation, do a lemon detox with water. We have to start picking the white pill here. Because when you're in white pill, when you start going down the path where all this is happening, I'm aware of it, but I'm not going to let them get to me. I'm going to build the best life I can, help as many people as I can. That's really empowering, and that's when the white pill goes off. There's a lot of sad things going on. That doesn't mean we don't mourn. I'll tell you a story, and it's personal. Is this week I fell apart. I woke up one day and I was so sad. I couldn't stand it. It was almost like embarrassing. Someone would call me, I'm like, and I was overwhelmed with sadness because people are making such bad choices, and we see it in Canada, maybe worse than ever. People are dying. These are very sad things. And again, as I said, we need to fully step into our humanity, and that means embracing our emotions. So normally I might have retreated, private person, suck it up, but I realized I needed my community. I reached out, I got a bunch of people together, we got laughing that night. It lifted that from me, and we need each other. And we need to be able to express our emotions. We can't be embarrassed about feeling sad or expressing even anger, because we are angry. And if you hold it in, it comes out in an unnatural way. So a lot of people struggle with the emotional impact of what's going on. And I'm a student of David Hawkins. And I say student, he's passed away, but he's written really incredible books. starting with letting go, because we have to let go of a lot of the things that don't serve us. So this was a powerful guide for people struggling. A lot of us are not conscious of the emotions that, throughout our lives, what these people have done, how they've destroyed families and relationships, and how each person has been affected by what's happened. So letting go is very powerful, and one of the ones that I've read most recently, I've read this one as well, but this one I want to just touch on today for a few minutes before we have Donald, is transcending the levels of consciousness. Because all of us here have heard about ascension, right? I mean, some take it as a biblical or spiritual thing. You can break down ascension. Let me just put these over here so they don't fall. There we go. That was all planned, just for dramatic effect. But so one of the things is, David really goes through this. You can measure whether something's true or not. Who here knows Dr. David Hawkins' work? Yeah. I know Donald does. But a lot of these lower level emotions, they deliberately, the psychopaths at the top, they want us to stay in them, because these are, we're staying in our smaller self, our ego, narcissistic, selfish, but they don't make us happy. So the lower level emotions, shame, only it measures at 20, then guilt, hate, apathy, grief, fear is at 100.
They're all fear.
Yeah, and then you get desire, and that's why they push all, like, anything goes and all this pornography and that, because it satiates you, and then it never satisfies. Then you get to anger. Anger's higher on the spectrum than, say, grief. And then pride is also lower level. That's why, even this, what they do Pride Month, these are all sins. There's a reason pride goes before the fall. Because when it's in your ego, if we move into humility and love and neutral and willingness, all of these higher level emotions, it goes from courage at 200 to 250, neutrality, willingness, acceptance, reason, love, unconditional joy, peace, enlightenment. This is ascension, higher level emotions. The lie is that your thoughts control your whole life. The truth is, our emotions do. And that's our humanity. When you can shift your emotions, you can shift your whole life. Your thoughts change. So in order to shift, emotions are tricky. And a lot of us have stuffed down so much shit over the years and decades, it's so hard to let go. And so you can only do it in bits and pieces. But when you can let go of some of this stuff through, prayer, forgiveness, I'll send some different things, ETF tapping, connection with nature, even changing your diet, exercise, all of these things, detox. A lot of forgiveness is critical. But you can start to actually feel more joy in your life. When you feel more joy, you have more energy. And this is something you can just monitor yourself through. How do I feel today? And how are my thoughts? You notice you're in a low mood, and then your thoughts are low. Nobody likes me. What's the point? Maybe I should give up. Well, I'll get that job. It's not it's not worth it. We've all had these thoughts. So they come from the lower emotional level. So I want to just encourage people now, because we all stumble. I gave it everything I've got. I'm used to being quite successful in my old life. Now I'm like, hey, I'm like Druthers delivery girl, and I'm thrilled with that job. But really, and I wanted to win the by-election. I'm like, I can do it, and I put everything into it. We must have talked to 20,000 people. We didn't win, but we won their hearts. And that's our job here. We're winning people's hearts. We're teaching people the truth. We're forcing them in a very loving way to look at the level of corruption and evil, because we need to see. We need to shine those lights on the darkness in order to remove it from the future and hold people accountable. So I really think all of us are doing, everything we can, but sometimes it's hard to admit when we're not feeling great or, have those deeper emotional conversations with each other. And I have noticed this because I've worked with a lot of the freedom groups, and there's a lot of animosity now. Who here hasn't seen that? That can be solved if we can start having human emotional conversations with each other. Like go, I'm really pissed off at you. And instead of going, fuck you, I did all the work on this event, fuck off. I hate that person, I'm never going to deal with that again. You go, that person says I'm really angry. The other person has to go, why? What's going on with you? I've been feeling a little pissed at you too. Why don't we sit down and have a drink and talk about this? We've forgotten our humanity. Like, every relationship has conflict. My sister is a complete libtard. And believe me, I love her so much, but we have fought, and I don't want to lose her. And so we fought, she does this, but we always come back because we're family. So I think these are skills that we forgot. In order for us to ascend, whatever that looks like, we got to figure this shit out. We can't have these bitter hearts. We can't have these chips on our shoulders. We can't have all this anger. It wears us down. We can't solve problems in anger. In fact, a study was done, Dr. David Hawkins, you can't have higher functioning societies when we're all angry. And who likes it when we're angry?
The dark.
They do. You call them the cabal, the elites. It's the Bolshevik revolution being played out. They love the pitchforks, the anarchy, the anarchists. They're all bad. We can't just do that. You're good, you're bad. And in fact, when new people are elected, they're going to make mistakes. Some of them, most of them will be accidental. We can't just, look at, they're part of the cabal. We have to be able to start engaging in deeper conversations, holding people accountable, but also being human with each other and allowing for mistakes and emotions to pop up, because so much has happened to all of us. We've all had horrible loss, tragedy, death. I lost my late husband. I know he was murdered by Big Pharma. We've all lost friends and family. We're all grieving in a way. And you're vulnerable when you're grieving. Sometimes emotions are raw and you don't know how to express them, and we're just building new relationships, so maybe you express them through anger. So these are some of the tools I want to give everyone, and I just want to make sure you're conscious that we need to start embracing our humanity and showing it towards each other for a better world. So tools to let go of negative emotions, ascension is Christ consciousness, and Christ taught us to love thy neighbor, turn the other cheek whenever possible, forgiveness, treat others as you would like to be treated yourself. Simple rules. Prayer helps to release some of this built-up negativity, forgiveness, acceptance, journaling, self-examination. We have to be able to look at ourselves and go, I'm flawed too, I'm not perfect, but still love each other without it being a narcissistic love. We have to learn how to love first ourselves and accept ourselves and each other. And focus, I find, I'm eager now. Where can I improve? Like, I'm looking for the spot. Oh, I'm in the grocery store. Someone needs this little thing in their cart stuck, or any little thing. Like, there's a million opportunities for each one of you right here in Huntsville. And my goodness, what a beautiful town. I think I might move here. By the way, laughter as well. Let's not get so heavy in what's going on that we forget how to play and laugh. God's happy when we're laughing and playing and we're saying, you fuckers, we're not going to let you get to us. Form a euchre club. I have a euchre club. Then a walking club. Do socials. Do a baking club. Do tinctures. There's endless ways to create joy and improve health at the same time. Nurture your pets, your children, your siblings, other people's children. My kids, they lost their husband, and then my ex, have talked about this, or he just left us, didn't even say goodbye or sorry. That's hard on me, but it's hard on them too. Anyone who pays attention to my kids, I'm like, oh, thank you, right? We have to do that. So many broken families. So let's nurture each other, and, you know, most importantly, I encourage you to get a healthy routine. So look at yourself like a specimen for how can I upgrade? Like of your own coach. What I did this is my last thing, is what I did this spring after my by-election. Of course, I was sad at the end. It was such an exciting run, and I did a lot of videos with Greg Wycliffe. He's coming up to the cottage with my whole team next weekend. But I did my Thrive protocol sheet. I'm going to send it to you guys, because I said, I need to get out of fear, because I've been prepping to death. I've food for 3 years. I'm exaggerating, but that's also living in fear, right? So I said, oh, my house had Donald's book, what the hell is going on? And I had them all on the table, Fauci. I thought I'd wake people up. Nobody was waking up. But I turned my house into a fortress instead of a sanctuary. And once you start looking, I'm like, wow, I've gotten tense over this. So my issue I put for my Thrive protocol, do these workshops. I did one just recently at Soul Fast. I was like, how can I turn my home from the fortress to the sanctuary? And it took me about a month, but I worked in every room, and then I started doing that with my emotions, my friends, my family, because we can get locked in fear even when we're awake, right? So it's not like all these normies, they're so scared of the mask. Well, we're living in fear over the cabal. When's this going to happen? Let it go. I'm like, let it go. Do what you can, have a little extra food, learn to garden, all these things. But learning is a skill, and have fun and enjoy doing it. And remember to upgrade. So through my process, I upgraded my morning habit. I got my tuning, which has been really helpful. I now do calisthenics. I do push-ups, sit-ups, a bunch of things, just 10 minutes in the morning. And I try to get more time with my family, so I swim with my libtard sister now every week. And it's really great for our relationship. I say that lovingly, right? You guys get it, but she's just totally entrenched. But it's nice to spend time with her, and I'm enjoying it, and so is she. So I want to encourage you. I'll send this sheet to Christy and Perry, along with my Ascension for Dummies kind of thing. And again, this isn't mine. This is from Dr. David O. Hawkins. And I encourage each and every one of you to look at your emotions, and if it's consistently negative, detox those emotions, okay? Because this is a long road. It might be the rest of our lives, really rebuilding, but lots of exciting things are happening. We've turned a corner, and I think there's a great future ahead, but we want to have as joyful life as possible. So thank you so much, and great to see everyone.